Everyone is looking for a new technique, a shortcut, a secret combination. Rasayan is not that. It's not a trick, it's not a formula. It's a way of thinking that changes how you read every chart. Let me show you what that really means. When you hear the word Rasayan, it may sound like a system, a method, or a framework. But before understanding Rasayan in astrology, we need to clear one thing very carefully. Rasayan is not a shortcut technique. It is not a new predictive trick. And it is definitely not a replacement for classical astrology. Rasayan is a process of refinement. If you are serious about learning astrology properly, not just shortcuts, subscribe the channel. This series is for you. What Rasayan actually stands for? Rasayan stands for Refined Analytical System of Astrological Yogas and Nakshatras. Each word here is intentional. Refined, analytical, system, yogas, nakshatras. This already tells us something important. Rasayan is not about adding more data. It is about processing existing data correctly. Why refinement is needed in astrology? Astrology already has thousands of yogas, multiple nakshatra interpretations, endless combinations. The problem is not lack of knowledge. The problem is unfiltered application. Most yogas are applied mechanically. Most nakshatra meanings are taken symbolically, not functionally. So one chart ends up with dozens of good yogas, dozens of bad yogas, and the astrologer doesn't know which one matters, which ones are active, which ones are supportive or obstructive right now. Rasayan begins exactly here. Rasayan is not about discovering new yogas. Rasayan does not invent yogas. It does not modify classical nakshatras. It does something more subtle and more difficult. It refines how yogas are evaluated, how nakshatras are interpreted, how planetary combinations are prioritized. Rasayan asks which yogas are functionally relevant in this life context. And when we say yogas, we mean which combinations, correct? Not every yoga produces results. Not every nakshatra promise manifests. Rasayan filters signal from noise. Why yogas alone often misled? A yoga in a chart is a potential, not an event. Many people live their entire lives without experiencing the textbook results of a famous yoga. Why? Because yogas need planetary strength, need supportive dasha, need correct functional role, need the right life stage. Without this analysis, yogas become either exaggerated or meaningless. Rasayan does not deny yogas. It places them in a functional hierarchy. Because nakshatras need functional interpretation, nakshatras are often taught poetically, symbol, deity, story. That is beautiful, but incomplete. In lived life, nakshatras operate through motivation, response patterns, instinctive behavior, effort style. Rasayan interprets nakshatras as operational forces, not just mythological descriptors. It asks, how does this nakshatra shape effort, reaction, and decision making? This turns nakshatra into practical psychological engines, not abstract labels. Why Rasayan is a process, not a method? Rasayan cannot be applied in one sitting because refinement happens step by step. First, chart structure is understood. Then, functional nature of planets is clarified. Then, yogas are filtered. Then, nakshatra expression is evaluated. And then, dasha timing is applied. Only after this does interpretation stabilize. This is why Rasayan cannot be reduced to a checklist. It evolves with understanding. Rasayan respects time and karma. Rasayan does not claim this yoga will definitely give this result. It asks, when is this yoga capable of operating? What level of result is realistic? Is the native prepared to handle it? Karma is not overridden. Time is not bypassed. Rasayan works within karmic permission. Then why this system reduces fear? Most fear in astrology comes from overcounting yogas, overemphasizing transits, under understanding functional strength. Rasayan reduces fear through clarity. When you know which combinations are dormant, which nakshatras are dominant, which combinations are supportive, astrology stops sounding threatening. It starts sounding instructive. Rasayan versus technique based astrology, if we talk about, the technique based astrology asks which rule applies here. Rasayan asks which principle governs this situation. Rules can conflict, principles rarely do. That is why Rasayan integrates yogas, nakshatras, dashas, transits without letting any single factor dominate irrationally. Example to ground this, if we talk about, so two people may have the same yoga. One experiences growth, another experiences stress. Rasayan looks at it that nakshatra of the planets forming the yoga, which one are they? What is their functional strength, their functional ownership, their maturity level, the dasha context? Now the difference becomes obvious. The yoga was the same, the expression was not. Why Rasayan cannot be mass market astrology, if we talk about? Rasayan is not ideal for fast predictions, dramatic claims, fear based content. It requires patience, analysis, contextual thinking. That is why it feels slower, but that is also why it feels stable. One clear definition of Rasayan in astrology is a refined analytical process that evaluates astrological yogas and nakshatras based on functional relevance, timing, and karmic context. Not prediction hype, not fatalism, but refinement. Astrology becomes powerful not when we add more rules, but when we understand which rules actually matter. Rasayan exists to bring that clarity. If you want to move beyond surface level yogas and understand astrology as a coherent analytical process, Rasayan is that direction. Explore it only if depth matters more than drama. Serious astrology needs serious students. If that's you, subscribe the channel and begin your deeper study with Rasayan.